Welcome back, everyone. We're back on the main menu. Yeah, I know. That's because I was trying to be all clever before, a bit like I did with Oblivion, and try and make the Let's Play have no breaks in the gameplay, but screw it, I'm too tired. I can't be bothered. Can't be frickin' bothered. Okay, so we need to load game. Plus, it means we get to listen to this groovy music again. Right. Let's play one, I think. Is the one we're after. Hey, brilliant. Okay, so welcome back, everyone, to Let's Play Nethergate Resurrection, aka a game in which we run around wearing skirts and underpants, because I have realised that none of our party members actually is wearing any trousers. So, yeah. They must be a bit cold. We'll remedy that soon, though. We'll find some trousers. Eventually, that will be that's our side quest for now, as far as I'm concerned, to find some trousers. Anyway, when we left off, we just walked into the mine. This place. We're in a dungeon now, which means the game goes into dungeon mode. It's kind of like town mode, except you're in a dungeon. You probably guessed that already, but anyway, yeah, here we are. We're on the upper level of the dungeon. I'm going to switch to auto map, just so it's easier to navigate, because otherwise it gets really confusing. And let's see what's in these boxes and stuff. Okay, so we've got a pick, which is worthless. We've got a cloak, which is not worthless. And we've got some trash, which really is worthless. Like, literally, it's worth nothing. It just says 4 pounds that it weighs. You know, we have some rocks. I'm going to take the rocks. It might seem silly, but chances are we are, even though we've got 24 javelins, chances are we might well run out of them by the time we are through here. And I'm going to give the cloak to Scribius as well. So anyway, I'll give the rocks to this guy, Numius, and let's head over here and see if we can find anything in these barrels. A pair of sandals. Cracking. We'll put those on. So apparently we've been going around in bare feet as well, but whatever. A little strange, I know, but there it is. Right, so let's have a look around, see what we've got over here. Though the decomposition and the rats have been taking their turns with this body, there's still enough left of it to tell that it was a Roman soldier, brutally slain, stripped, and left here. Another terrible crime against a fellow soldier and the Empire. Whoever is responsible, hiding somewhere in this underground labyrinth, they must be brought to justice. Apparently. A few of the miners once made themselves a chilly subterranean home in these caves. Some of their furniture is still here, mouldy and smelling of mildew. Could furniture go mouldy? I don't think it can. I don't think furniture goes mouldy. They mean rotten, maybe. If it's wooden, it might rot. But mouldy? No. Not unless they built it out of bread. Anyway, under one of the tables you see what looks like the droppings of a large animal. Your keen warrior's instincts tell you that whatever it left them is probably still around. How do your keen warrior instincts give you insight into the specifics of animal dung? Anyway, the low growls echoing from the darkness are your first clue. From the look of things, the mine can't have been abandoned for more than a few years. You wonder why the miners left. What else we got in here? Trash. A candle. Some poor fur. It's worth a fair amount, so we'll take it. And we have a very dark room. Now, I'm not sure if we can. You can use light sources in this game. Oh, great. Okay, apparently because he has a rational mind, he can't light up a candle in a dark room, because that, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is an incredibly rational thing to do. Anyway, we've lit the candle up, and I think... Oh, and a rock. Love that. I'm actually going to go back here and see if there's any more candles. 4 candles. That's what we need. 4 candles. No, that's good for now. But anyway, yeah, we all need that, because otherwise we're going to get ambushed by monsters. We'll get ambushed by monsters anyway, but it'll make it happen slightly less often. The monsters in this sometimes have a unique way of blending in with the scenery. Anything else to pick up in here? A stick? We could pick up a stick, apparently. A stick, it must be an exceptionally heavy stick, because it does apparently the same amount of damage as a hatchet. Interestingly. Also interestingly, we cannot use a pick as a weapon, but apparently we can use sticks. Random sticks as weapons. Oh, and a torch. Brilliant. We'll use that after the candles run out. Ow! You've just lost some health. Your health is a measure of how much punishment you can take before dying. Blah, blah, blah. Like I said, we're going to get ambushed anyway. Now what we need to do is we need to go into fighting mode. Press F or this button down here. You have now just entered combat mode. Thank you, game. One step behind me, as ever. Everyone will now move one at a time. People with higher dexterity go first. To attack a bad guy, walk into it. Each turn, each character gets several action points. Doing things uses them up. When you run out of action points, your turn ends, and the next character goes. To end combat, press the end combat button or type E. So, yes, as you can see, like, because he has the highest dexterity, Numius goes first. It says AP4 on his little portrait there. That means he has 4 action points, so he can do 4 things, like moving a space. Is one action, I think. Firing a weapon, something like that. But anyway, what he's going to do is he's going to do a missile attack on. I said he's going to do a missile attack. Oh, no target's available, so he has to move into view of a target, apparently. He's still not in view of a target. Maybe he is now, though. He had to push Scribius out of the way, but never mind. So he's going to throw it at this rat at the back here. A rat which has the voice of a bear, apparently. Yes, you'll come across a lot of that in this game. Now it's Rictus' turn. So he's just going to stab the rat, which is now dead. Which should be all of them, I think. So now we just where the sod is it? We press the end combat button, and combat ends, and we go back to the normal walking around mode, if you like. We have a skull on the floor, another stick, another pick, and some more trash. All rubbish. However, there is a little chest thing over here, which I'm going to open. Inside we have another candle and some trash. Trash galore. Is this game set before or after the invention of the skip? I mean, honestly. We found some more first aid kits so that we can give them to Conius, and we found a fine iron dagger, which is only slightly worse than the iron longswords we have, actually, so I'm going to give it to Numius. He could do with something better than that little short sword he's got, after all. Let's go back to the auto map. Beginning to lose track of where the hell we are. Right, what's up this way? A door, which leads into the room we were in earlier. The one with the mouldy furniture, apparently. So, where do we need to go now, or have we reached a sort of dead end? I think we might have reached a dead end. Never fear, I know the way forward. I've done this before. It's this way. Ah, okay. You make your way carefully down the damp, slippery steps, fully aware that one misstep could mean a broken leg or worse. It's dark and cold in here, a marked contrast to the glorious weather outside. As you make your way forward, you listen carefully, trying to find a clue to who lives in here. Before long, you start to hear something besides dripping water and squeaking rats. There are voices ahead. You can't make out what they're saying, so you inch closer. Now you start to hear distinct words, but they're still unintelligible to you. It's a harsh, guttural language, unlike any you've ever heard. You check to make sure your swords are still at the ready. There's danger ahead. You'd bet on it. I would I? Well, actually I would, because I know what's ahead. You see a light to the south, with several short men hunched around it, talking in their guttural tongue and sharpening their weapons. One of them notices you. You stare at each other, and reality drops out from under you. They're not men. They're not even human. They're too short and too squat, and they have fangs, and claws, and shaggy fur all over their bodies. Their eyes glow slightly, and their lips are speckled with the meaty leavings of their last meal. You step back, confused and horrified by what you're seeing. The gods and the supernatural have always been invisible to you, acting in unseen, mysterious ways. These beings, on the other hand, are quite real and quite dangerous. On their part, although they look terribly fierce, they don't roar and they don't charge. They seem tired and resigned, like long-time campaigners, as they pick up their weapons and move to attack. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. This game is a fantasy RPG, in case you were wondering. It's set in a historical period, but yes, we do have goblins. These are goblins, according to the game anyway. So, what do we do with goblins? Well, we kill them, obviously. Like so. Get your ass over there, Rictus. And use Crib. Down you go. Right, let's see. Kikonius, whose name I've just realised I have spelt wrong. I wonder how many noticed that in the previous videos. We've got an I where there shouldn't be an I. There we go. Fixed. Good thing we can do that, otherwise I would have been stuck with that for the next flipping, I don't know, 50 videos. Right, so, Kikonius, he could cast a spell or something if I wanted him to, but I don't want him to. So he's just going to stay put, really. Numius, on the other hand, is going to kill this dude. Numius is going to get a lot of kills, by the way. Just simply because he's using a ranged weapon. And I think that should be all of them. We'll move about a bit in combat mode just to make sure there's nothing else waiting for us. This door looks extremely sturdy, and the padlock on it is of an unfamiliar make. You give it a try, but you don't have any keys with which work in the lock. You may have a hard time getting in here. That is a locked door. Don't bother trying to bash it down because you can't get in. You need the key. Now let's get out of combat mode. We shall ignore this door for now. We'll find the key for it later. That, however, is another goblin down there. Goblins need to die. And we have some loot. So let's pick some of this up. We have a bronze helmet and a lamp. And some more rocks. So let's put the helmet on Scribius. And there's another goblin around the corner. Brilliant. And let's give these rocks to Numius. And let's go into combat mode. Numius, kill. Good boy. Rictus, charge blindly. Everyone else kind of stop the gap up. Dead. Excellent. That should be all of them, I think. Let's see if we can pick up anything up. A crude cudgel. It's worth 20 coins. We'll take it. A leather helmet. We'll take that too. But we will give that to Rictus. He's our point man after all. Ah, another goblin. I don't think we'll waste a javelin on this fella. Let's just get rid of him. That, what I just did there, it was defend, which is basically you can skip the character's turn and they just sit there and try to parry enemy blows. That's all I was doing there. Basically. Do it again. Numius is going to take a few hits, but it's no big deal. He's more than a match with this goblin. And that, thankfully, should be the end of the combat. Until we blunder into another one. Anything worth taking here? An iron dagger? No. Mutton? Yes. Let's have another look at the auto map. Okie dokie. I know where we are now. So, nothing to pick up here apparently. So, let's head this way. That, over there, is a hostile wolf. We're going to kill it. Mainly because it's hostile. So who'd have thunk it? It has to die. It must die because it's a wolf and it's a fantasy RPG, so therefore it's got to die. It's the law of the land, that's how it works. Also, the wolves sound like bears. Don't know why that is. They just do. Like, there's more of them over there. Another locked door. We'll keep getting those annoying pop-ups whenever we go near one of them, unfortunately. Even in the middle of combat. It's a bit of a pain in the bum, but there it is. Yeah, there we go again. No, just shut up. I know about the door. Game. Scribius is taking a few hits, but he's going to be okay. I should think. If he's not, we can use a bit of magic. But I'm saving that for later. We only have a certain amount of spell points. We have 10, which is not really a lot. And I would rather make them count, as opposed to using them in just crap fights like this. Dead. That should be all of them. Anything worth picking up? Nope, apparently not. Anything in this bit here worth picking up? Some weird meat. No thanks. More goblins. The goblins clearly plan to defend their home with much more than just weapons. You trip a hidden deadfall trap, dumping a load of heavy rocks onto your heads. We're all going to take some damage now. Fair amount of damage, in fact. Never mind, we're not dead. That's the main thing. And even if we were dead, it wouldn't be the end of the world, technically speaking, as I'm sure I'll get a chance to demonstrate fairly soon. Right, now, Richter's is on 10 hit points left, which means he definitely needs to be healed. How do we do that? Well, we cast a spell. Yes, yes, yes. For instance, mild healing. Now, Ricky's back to full health. I'm ready to kick some butt.